Hey guys, what's going on? Shit fire, man. This is Rick down here in Key West, Florida. We're dodging raindrops this morning. Of course, I'm on the inside and I'm hoping that it can water my plants. I'm telling you. And it doesn't. It doesn't. I have to go out there. Got to do it all myself. So that's okay. This is what being a husbandman is going out and farm, make a little farm, create a little vine, stuff like that, grow some grapes. This is what we're talking about today, all right? Real quick, I was just wanting to, there's a mystery in this, in the story, Noah. And it's at the very, very end of the story, but, well, kind of not the end, but it's the end of a particular part of the story. Which one is it? See if I didn't do my homework, huh? That's all I was doing was my homework. Oh yeah, I should have known this. It's in Genesis chapter 9. Where'd you guys go? So Genesis chapter 9. So you could tell that this is going to be like, hey, this is like an overthrowing situation. This is when they've made it up to the top of the mountain, stuff like that. There's God makes this covenant with the rainbow and stuff, and things like that. So this is where this is where we are in the story. And of course, the rainbow bridge is what we just went through, this idea that, the rainbow is this breach, this between earth and heaven. And of course, we know this as the Vimana. This is the vehicle, which is our chakra system. This is how we leave planet Earth and make it up into heaven. All right. So in Noah's story, this is represented as an ark. And so, this is maybe an electrical reference. But to make himself an ark is this idea is that he was going to bring he and himself into this particular place, and he was going to raise above the earth. And while it was being destroyed and purified and cleaned of all of its inhabitants, all right? And that Noah was going to be saved. He and his family alone were going to repopulate the earth and stuff like that. So, well, anyways, there is a mystery along in this. And once you write it all out, this mystery isn't so crazy anymore. And so I'm going to bend your ear a little bit for you guys that when we're looking for the spiritual side of our Bible, this is the very thing you'll be doing, is taking things apart, all right? And it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting, all right? Now, I've got my notes down here in front of me, and what we're going to do is we're going to call out these particular players in the story, all right? I'm going to move out of the way for just a second, all right? For you people that have, that are, prude, that represents Noah down there in some kind of a tent, and it's got a little penis on it. So, hope you can, hold on. Don't let that shock you, all right? But anyways, these are the three people that came out of the ark. And of course, we already think that Noah's already out, all right? He's come to this particular part where he's become a husbandman, and he goes and he builds some kind of a farm. A husbandman is a farmer, and he is going to grow vineyard, all right? Now, for those of us that are on the outside world, and me in particular, because I've got a vine that I said it was 2.5 years old, almost 3 years old. Maybe it's 3 years old now. And it didn't fruit. Did not fruit this year at all. All right. Now, this is the outside world. Is when you start growing these plants and stuff like that, it's got to take some time. You just don't get the wine right off the bat. You just don't. All right. But anyways, as the story goes, because when he makes it up to the top of this mountain, the story is that he goes and builds a vineyard. And, this is this idea of, he's created his heaven. And all of these stories are about bringing God into our lives, and we have to make these things come alive. And so while he is in his ark and he's delivered to the top, he meets up with God. This is where it is. He's naked. There's nothing between him and God. There's no skin because we've left this garment behind while we ascended up to this higher place, using water, the truth of all things, to bring us to this point. And so while they're up on the top of the mountain, he gets drunk off of the new wine, found naked in his tent. So we know that the tent is that he's in meditation. That's why he's in there. They say, he's asleep. This is a meditation term that this is happening. Even this tent is actually, it's going to be representing the ark. But the three guys that come out, it's Shem, Ham, and Josephus. I'm not sure how to say that either. But if you were to think about this, and I go a little ahead of me, or I've gone ahead of us in the Bible, and this is the sons of Shem, which one of these is a wife. And we have the sons of Josephus. These are all sevens. This is 7. Those are going to represent the two olive trees in these stories. It's another way of talking it. There are 2 olive trees beside in the middle. In the middle becomes the the way, the candlestick. It usually follows right in the middle. But this is where you come from, this side, and this is where you show up. So it means that, Abram is over here. And if it were opposites, would have been Abraham, but this is where we are when we don't have the breath of God in us. We're in Shem. This is how we are born. This is because we don't have God in us when we come to life on earth. So we are here where Abram is. This is this idea. This is the lower mind. This is the chakra system that represents those guys. All right, those names change all over through this book, left and right. But then we have Ham is represented. There's only 4 in here: Canaan, Cush, Mizraim, and Put. And if you can remember from our stories, is the idea that 4 is going to represent worlds. Canaan is going to represent the outside, our conscious. It's going to be our outside conscious. Cush is going to be our emotional side in the north. Mizraim is going to be our body. I'm just thinking about the name. Sounds like it's meant for misery. And Put means the end. All right, that's what Put. Now I ain't lying. This is the coolest shit on earth, you guys. Put it means the ending. So Canaan is the mind. This is Miriam is our body and our body part, our physical self, and Foot will be is our spiritual side. It's the end. Now so Canaan is our outside. Canaan represents actually the lower mind, everything. That's what it all is. Now, this is the coolest stuff on earth, you guys. So let's run through this. All right. Okay. Now what happens? Okay. These 3 guys step out of the boat, and Ham sees his father down there naked. Oh shit. So Ham is our conscious. Ham is the one that sees it, and he sends his 2 brothers to go and cover him up. No, we don't want to see it. So they go in backwards with their faces forward. They did not see the nakedness. That's because they represent the outside, and it's trying to come back. This is where number 9 and number 10 or 8 comes in, 8 and 9 actually in the story, because 8 becomes a control, or this is now mine. This is ownership. This is mine. And it's this jealousy move of God. That just as society says, Noah wakes up from his drunkenness. He wakes up, so now he's on the outside. He is no longer in this, dream sequence of a thing, He wakes up and he says, he notices what his younger son has done to him. And he curses Canaan. He curses the lower mind. He says, you're going to be the servant of the servants, and your other guys are going to serve you. This is how it works, okay? It's crazy shit, though, but listen. He woke up as those guys were backing up on him, and he says, you ain't doing this. Because he just made this covenant with God, and there's no turning back. You're not going to change me. And then he curses this guy. All right? He calls him a servant. Now, the way this is, all right, here. I've got my marker on. It says here. So Shem and Josephus took a garment and laid it upon their shoulders and went backwards to cover the nakedness of their father. Then Noah woke from his wine, and he knew what his younger son had done to him. Cursed be Canaan. A servant of a servant shall be unto his brethren. This is your brethren. This is your brethren. All of this blood. Cursed be Canaan. Canaan is going to serve the lower nature. Canaan is going to serve the lower nation, the lower side of us. This particular part is the works. This is the works. This is our world. As we are changing our worlds, you have to go from the west to the east to change our world. This is the works. And when you get to the works, the very same thing is going to house Josephus. Josephus is going to dwell in the tent of Shem. I know I'm dyslexic, but I'm telling you what, this is all one person they're talking about. And the idea is that this will show you that this is the lower mind. The lower mind goes from serving the lower mind, serving Shem without God, to the very same place, the very same carcass goes to serving Josephus, who is enlarged, E-N-L-A-R-G-E-D. He is enlarged. His borders are greater or enlarged. This is what happens when you make it over here to the sunny side of things. When you get to the top of the mountain. And so did this help? Does this make sense to anybody at all? Why, when he wakes up, he yells and he gets mad at Canaan? That's because it was Ham that saw it. Ham was the one that said, go fix that, He's taking those two servants, those two people, those two other things that go with this, with your psyche, with your mind. So go cover that up. Go fix that. And he says, motherfucker, not me. Not today. You're not going to take my God away from me. Hell no. I'll take it away from you. Boom. By cursing Canaan. By cursing the lower mind. Now, this is not so unheard of, because this is what happens with Adam and Eve. You know, the lower mind gets cursed, and then this separation between the right and the left sides of us just becomes vacant. There's no more of that. There's none of the good side. So this is what we get when we use the names and the words and the stuff and the story itself. It says, here we go. The last bit of this, it says, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of a servant." All right. And he shall be a servant unto his brethren. Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. That's this one. All right. That's us in the raw. All right. God shall enlarge Josephus, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. So I showed you how all that worked together. I'm not going to make it scarier or I don't want to make it harder for you to understand. But lately, I've been recognizing whenever I get in front of this thing like this, you know, we are Noah. Shem is us when we're without God. Josephus is us whenever we are with God. It's just the two olive trees. One produces fruit. That's this one. This one doesn't produce fruit. But, but look how they have it set up. The three signs. First, you come out like this. Then you learn the works. And then you're over on the other side. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, guys. And I can't make this shit up. Hell no, I can't. I can't. All right. I love you, and I hope this helped out some of y'all. Showing how we talk about the spiritual side of the Bible. It's pretty cool. All right. Adios.